I'm here on PTR for a very quick video today because the Havoc Demon Hunter set bonus was just revealed and we're going to go over it. Before we do though, if you will enjoy the content or like this video, make sure you hit the like button, drop a comment down below, and hit the sub button if you're not yet. It helps share the video to more people and helps grow the channel. With that, let's get into it. So here I am on the PTR, and the tier sets for basically every class has been revealed, although only a few of them are testable. And without further ado, here is Havoc's first iteration of the 10.1 tier set. We look over here, the sets things like Kinslayer's Garb or something like that. 2-piece, every 160 Fury you spend, you gain Seething Fury, which increases your agility by 8% for 6 seconds. And the 4-piece is each time you gain Seething Fury, you gain 20 Fury, and the damage of your next I-Beam is increased by 20%, stacking up to 5 times. Now, I don't have any numbers for this. I don't even know if this is actually the real one. Currently, the set's bugged in-game, and the Blue Post Blizzard revealed actually shows a different value. So the Blue Post is that the 2-set bonus is every 200 Fury you spend, where this one is 160. You gain Seething Fury, which increases your Agi by 8% for 6 seconds. And the 4-set is each time you gain that effect, you gain 15 Fury instead of 20. And the damage of your next I-Beam is increased by 12% instead of 20, stacking 5 times. So I'm a little unsure about which one that will actually end up being. But for the time being, I can talk about what this set does right off the rip. Initial reaction. So initial reaction to this set is that we're going to be playing Blind Fury and I-Beam talents in 10.1. This is going to make I-Beam very strong. On a single target, I-Beam is roughly 9 to 10% of your DPS. So with this effect, I-Beam is going to do a ton of damage. You spend roughly 160 Fury every 10 seconds. So depending on what the final value for this is, you'll get roughly 3 or so stacks, 4 stacks of this with Cycle of Hatred, potentially a little bit less. And in AoE, if we don't end up running these middle talents, then you will end up getting roughly 4 stacks of it. Now, I don't think it's ever worth to hold for 5 stacks. If you were going to hold I-Beam anyways for some reason, then it might be pretty good. But if you're not holding, then I don't think it's ever worth it to hold this ability. So I'm in the single target build here. So let's go up to a dummy and I'll show you guys what it works. So I'm not tracking it on my weak auras yet because it literally just came out. But check up in the top right corner here to keep track of how much Fury I'm spending and building. So I'll go in, we'll do my opener, we'll put this down, Immolation Aura, Spell Rush in, Hunt. And then we're going to rip our first I-Beam just on top of it. We'll use 1 Fury expenditure, Essence Break, Death Sweep, Meta, Death Sweep, Annihilation, Annihilation. And then see here, my next blade I-Beam did more damage because I have that effect. And now we're just going to be spending as much Fury as we can to try and build up more of these stacks. So I got 1 stack there. You can see I got Seething Fury, which increases my Agi. And then my next I-Beam deals, this says 10% per stack. The tier set says 20% per stack. And the post says 12% per stack. So it's really hard to tell what's actually going to happen. But you can see here, I got 4 stacks for my next I-Beam. So I'm just going to rip that. And then we'll keep going. Now this might end up bumping haste a little bit more than current. It's hard to tell off the rip right now. We don't have sims. We don't even know how much damage or what the final tier set numbers will be. But this does look to be a pretty decent increase for single target and AoE. It's not too disruptive to your rotation, right? Like it's just going to be more Fury, which is good, really. You know, more Fury, which feeds itself into that other loop. The Fury generation is going to be really important for Havoc. I definitely might push us more towards the middle of the tree with Cycle of Hatred. So that's interesting. You know, you kind of want tier sets to change around what you do a little bit. We'll see the greater ramifications this has. Of course, I will be updating you guys on everything as we push forward. Hopefully a tracker I can get will help out when to use I-Beam and stuff too. But, you know, you get the buff pretty often. 160 Fury is not a lot, with how much Fury we actually end up generating and spending, and you end up getting the increased damage pretty rapidly. So for a first iteration of a tier set, it's not bad. The stats on the tier set is bad. There's a lot of haste, but you know those can change pretty easily. So overall, I'm not disappointed with it. We'll see how it interacts with our talents. We don't have any talent tree changes yet. Hopefully we get some, although another week goes by, another set of no changes, so we'll see if there is something. But For now, this is not bad. Your I-Beam does a lot of damage. We'd end up using it in single target. It might push us down towards Cycle of Hatred for AoE. Maybe not Shadow Destiny, but Cycle of Hatred for sure. So we'll see how that ends up impacting things whenever we get to testing and how the final values actually shake up. So now Vengeance was also revealed. So we're going to talk a little bit about Vengeance right now. Now Vengeance isn't in-game, so I can't show you guys it, but I can talk about it with the blue post. Alright, so I sat here and thought about the tier set a little bit more, so I kind of want to dive a bit more into it. So, a few things this does is we might actually not want to play Fellblade or Burning Hatred with new builds now, because of the passive Fury generation in the tier set where you gain some Fury whenever you spend it. So it could free up some talent points, which is, definitely interesting. I don't really know where you'd put these points. A lot of the talents in here are pretty set in stone. I guess you could swap this to Aura of Pain, but that doesn't really do much in single target anyways. And over here in the AoE build, I guess you could put a point in, I don't know, like Blind Fury or something. But again, not too much there. Off the rip, the tier set, after seeing all the other ones, does seem a little undertuned. It seems kind of boring. So I do honestly hope that something does change to it. I-Beam roughly in a log is about 9% of your damage. So boosting it up by 40%, 50% would equate to it being probably like 8k DPS overall, which is probably fine, but it does seem boring and a tad undertuned looking at all the other ones. The Shaman, Ellie Shaman 2 set just gives you Stormkeeper every 40 seconds, which is really sick. And like Frosty K summons a Frostworm, so it's kind of boring for ours to just kind of be really passive. Passive agility gain, passive I-Beam and stuff. So I do hope something changes. But as a passive tier set, it seems fine. It pushes you more towards the middle of the tree, which, hey, you want your tier set to kind of influence how you play for a tier. I'm a little disappointed it's not something more interesting, maybe something to do with meta, by making our single target a little bit stronger. This does do some cleave and stuff. But overall, it's fine. It's just boring and potentially undertuned, so I do hope we see some changes to it in the future. Okay, so here is the Vengeance set. So the 2 set bonus, Soul Fragments heal for 10% more, and generating a Soul Fragment increases your fire damage done by 2% for 6 seconds. Multiple applications may overlap. The 4 set bonus is that Shear and Fracture deal fire damage, which is important. After consuming 20 Soul Fragments, your next cast of Shear or Fracture applies Fiery Brand to its target for 6 seconds. So effectively what this does, it honestly seems pretty powerful. So you generate a lot of Soul Fragments as Vengeance. Obviously, it's one of your main resources. And a lot of your damage is fire, with most of your damage besides Shear and Fracture being some form of fire damage. However, the 4 set bonus fixes that, making the fire damage, making them fire. And then whenever you consume 20 Soul Fragments, which is basically every 4 Spirit Bombs, right? Which is not that slow, right? Your next cast of Shear or Fracture applies Fiery Brand to its target for 6 seconds. Now, I don't know if this one will spread. I imagine it won't spread using Immolation Aura and stuff like that. It could. But there are a ton of talents that cause you to amp fire damage you deal. Like the one where Fiery Brand amps the fire damage. So this seems like a very strong offensive and defensive tier set for Vengeance. Because of Frailty, the damage they deal actually goes back to healing for them. So all in all, I think this looks really, really powerful for Havoc and, well, not for Havoc, for Vengeance. It seems pretty interesting. It seems like it could be fun to play around. And all in all, I think this is pretty cool. Now, again, I'm disappointed in Havoc's, whatever, but Vengeance seems kind of sick. So with that, those are the tier sets for now. I'm going to have a video tomorrow going over every single tier set, so if you want to stick around and look for that. But those are the first look at Havoc and Vengeances. I will update you guys as we get more changes to them with future PTR builds. So subscribe for that. Drop a like, drop a comment down below as well for what you think of these, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.